Hi guys, so I am here to give you a general overview on how the ICT is connected with the climate change and disaster management. So let me introduce first. I am Kiran AK, studying MSW at Central University of Tamil Nadu. So let's go to the topic. ICT for climate change and disaster management. So what is the role of ICT in climate change? What is ICT? ICT refers to technologies that provides access to information through telecommunications. ICTs are also used to refer to the convergence of media technologies such as audiovisual and telephone networks with computer networks by means of a unified system of a cabling. Cabling includes the signal distribution and management or link system. Okay, so the ICT explains about information and communications technology as you can see in the picture. So what will be the benefits of ICT if we use it in climate change? We can share the information about the famine, tsunami and other natural calamities or disasters. We can also reduce the CO2 emissions and we can increase or raise the public awareness using the facilities of ICT. What will be the ICT tools for mitigating the climate changes? So we can use the computer control systems can be to make homework and manufacturing more energy efficient. And the telecommunications are vital in responding to natural disasters that climate change may bring. Next is the monitoring vulnerable or dangerous environments is possible with sensor networks. So using the sensor networks, we can early identify about the dangerous environments or the calamities. Later, the satellite observations provide essential data on weather and vegetation patterns. Next is you may all heard about this equipment Ocean Buoys. Ocean Buoys communicate data on tsunami or sea level changes via satellite. So Ocean Buoys is used to identify the weather conditions and forecast in the sea level. You can see it in the picture as a yellow equipment. And the last point is the broadband internet access makes it easier to share large amounts of data globally distributed as the grid system, and it computing allows researchers to explore topics in unprecedented depth. So the broadband internet access helps the researchers to make explore the topics in a deeper way. And you can see the picture of Ocean Buoys in the below. The next one is what is the adaptation process of ICT in climate change? There are 6 steps in the adaptation process of ICT in climate change. First one is observation, second one is analysis and planning, third one is implementation and management, fourth one is capacity building, fifth one is networking, and sixth one is monitoring and evaluation. So what is observation? So we are observing about the natural calamities and how they arrive and what will the destruction it causes. Next one is analysis and planning. So after we observing, we are analyzing how the calamities will be happen or what distractions or what effects is going to make. So after analyzing, we are planning how we can overcome it. So in the third stage, we are implementing the strategy and we are managing it. In the fourth level, we are building the capacity for to overcome the issue regarding the calamity change or the climate change issues. Fifth one, through networking, we are sharing and exchanging the ideas between others. And the last one, the monitoring and evaluation helps us to make how the processes or how the stages are we gone through and what all the changes we have to make later. So through the monitoring and evaluation, we can analyze or understand that what all we done, how much it makes effective, etc. So what is disaster? The term disaster owes its origin to French word désastre, a combination of two words des meaning bad and the astre meaning star. Thus, the term disaster refers to a bad or evil star. So a disaster is a serious disruption to the functioning of a community which causes human, material, economic and environmental losses beyond a community's ability to cope. So every community or every individual have the capacity to adjust up to a limit. So anyone crosses the limit or if anything exceeds the limit, they will be part of the disaster. So the disaster management aims to lessen the impacts of disasters, minimizing the losses of life and property. It is the global definition given by the United Nations. And we can analyze about the ICT for disaster management. The information and communication technologies plays a significant role in the disaster prevention and mitigation response and recovery. So the timely, predictable and effective information is much needed by government agencies and other humanitarian actors involved in the rescue operations and decision making processes. So those who are all the part of the rescue operations and other processes regarding the disaster management is much needed of the services of ICT. And there is four principles regarding the disaster management for the ICT. First one is multi-hazard, second one is multi-technology, third one is multi-phase, and the fourth one is multi-stakeholder. First one. First one is multi-hazard. It includes the natural hazards like earthquakes, cyclones, floods, mudslides, droughts, tsunamis, volcanic eruptions, etc. For the all disasters that follow natural hazards, ICTs play a critical role in facilitating the flow of vital information in a timely manner. Another is multi-technology. It mitigating the disastrous effects of hazards. ITU promotes the use of different information and the communication technologies and networks, including satellite, radio, mobile networks, and the internet that can contribute to enhance capacity and reduce vulnerability of people. So the multi-technology of the ICT helpful for the disaster management services. So through that we can reduce the risk of disaster management. The another principle is multi-phase. So it includes the telecommunications are critical at all stages of disaster management. So it includes the multi-phase stage includes or the multi-phase principle includes four types. First one is mitigation phase, preparedness phase, recovery phase, and the last one is response phase. So what all the factors mitigation phase includes the public education and awareness, hazard and vulnerability, assessment of the that mitigation phase, and the improved infrastructure. And the preparedness phase includes the national emergency and telecommunication and the response plans and how the training is going regarding the disaster management and the exercises needed for it and the early warning and the standard operating procedures. And the next one is the recovery phase. Recovery phase includes like the restoring telecommunications, the infrastructure, improving lives, and about the recovery and rehabilitation services. And the last one, the response phase is the communication and coordination and the saving lives. So if a disaster arises, we have to respond very fastly to face or to address the disaster management or to address the disaster effectively. So the last one is response phase. It includes communication and coordination and the saving lives. So if we faced a disaster, we have to respond very fast. Thus only we can reduce the risk of disaster. The last principle is multi-stakeholder. So the local community, the government, the private sector, the disaster management agencies, the meteorological organization, the civil society, humanitarian agencies, and so all many there are so many factors around the disaster management like the community, government, NGOs, private agencies, volunteers, etc. And they should be ensure access to ICT to better coordinate disaster management activities. So partnership are the best way to achieve this task. So there will be many organizations or many peoples from different sides to rescue the peoples or they will be the part of the disaster management. So the ICT helpful them to coordinate the good activities regarding the disaster management and it will be very helpful for the disaster management to reduce the risk of these type hazards. So thank you for the able hearing, and we will see in a next chapter.